The road crossing, when you guys come down across it, obviously knobby tires on blacktop can be slick, so please pay attention there as well.
We are at round 11 of the Mountain State Hare Scramble at Berners Ridge, West Virginia. The RUGER'S Run. Alright, boys and girls, it's time to get these things heated up and ready to hit the track.
Hey, I'm getting in front of you, just say, it's Kenny, I like you, Bob. I'll try to hold the rest of them off.
It's a perfect day for a race here at the RUGER'S Run at the Mountain State Hare Scramble, round 11. Pros just took the green flag and they're out getting ready to tackle the track. A-class is hitting the trail. I'm in the 4th row. I'm in the 40 AB, but it's a mixed row. It's also the 30 AB. Austin's getting ready to hit the track.
Good luck, Hovatter.
I'm on my 2020 Beta 300RR.
Okay.
It's a fast starter. I love starting this thing. And we're off to tackle the track. Taking turn 1. Ripping through the gears. Trying to not look stupid. Around and off an off camber downhill. About slipped. Pulled it together. And now, thank you. And now we're off to the races. Or we're starting the race. Thanks, boys. Now, the only bad thing about getting a good hole shot at the Mountain State Hare Scramble is it's not the best for the video. So I'm going to change this video up a little bit. I'm going to show you some of the highlights of my first lap, which is not passing a lot of people because I'm not sure that I already passed anybody. I'm not sure that I even seen anybody. So I'm just going to show you some of the highlights, and then I have a little battle on the second lap, and then I'll show you the complete third lap. And the reason I'm doing that, a lot of you guys are out on the track, and maybe I might be able to pass you, or you might pass me and see yourself on the video. But also, you're able to look at the track and get a complete view of what the track conditions was all about on this day. This property is split with a blacktop road. You heard Richie talking about it being a little slick. That's one of the things we got to worry about on this course. Another thing is it hasn't been raced on for close to a year, and as you can see, it's grown up a little bit. Richie left some of the trees on the trail as an obstacle. The trees wasn't that bad, but the hillside was a little rocky. If you raced this property before, you know rocks is the main condition that you gotta contend with. And on the first lap, it's those rocks underneath grass. So you gotta be very cautious and not go ripping up through a trail and catch a stump or a rock and throw you on your lid. And on your first lap, you never know what's around the corner. Well, in this case, it's a tree. As I'm backing up to try to find the trail, somebody thought I was holding him up. Then he realized as well, you can't go that way, so we had to do a detour. Yes, there's a detour at the Mountain State Hare Scramble. I could tell in my next few laps there that I was not the only one that got fooled by the tree. Also, there was a double uphill, which I just missed the first opportunity to hit the hill. As Richie was telling us, the second part was harder than the first, and he was not lying. The second hill climb was pretty steep. It had a lot of roots and stumps, but I made it with no problems. But I learned my lesson not to pass the hill climb. This track had several hill climbs that were a little technical. This one got a little dusty and slick. And on this property, what goes up must go down. So there were slick uphills as well as slick downhills. So that was basically my first lap. Never really seen a lot of people. Just try to keep motivated. Go as fast as I can without hitting a rock or something that was hidden underneath the grass. And come to the finish without making that big mistake.
Lap 1.
Now we're off for lap 2. As I come down past the pits, Matt Hovatter and his crew rooting me on. Trying to not make a fool of myself, which I do later on. I only was on the ground twice. Unfortunately, one of them was right in front of my pits. Now, I got a new camel pack. Been struggling trying to get water out of it. I got a new one of the hands-free adapters for your helmet. I just threw it in my mouth coming out through here, and I'm sucking as hard as I can to get some water. And evidently, I got dizzy. I was sucking so hard because I couldn't even make the turn. Not a real big deal, but Josh gets around me. This is the gentleman that was sitting beside me on the left. He was the one that's telling me if I'm behind him, just tell him who it is, and he'd pull over for me. Of course, he's in the 30 AB class, so he's not in my class. I'm in the 40 AB, but I don't play that game, so I basically follow him for pretty much a full lap before I get the opportunity to try to find a spot to get around him. This track's pretty fast. It gets pretty rough, but there's not a lot of passing opportunity. It's basically Josh is going pretty much my pace. So we tackle the track together. I was going to go over the log, but I got jacked up there, so I had to go up above it and get around it. So there went one opportunity to get around him. That's someone passed me and hit one of the rocks that were hidden underneath the grass. Kicked him kind of goofy, but he didn't even act like it bothered him. I was puckering for him. The property had a lot of little off-camber sections. Seen a lot of people laying down here on this part of the track. This track had a little bit of everything. It had some hill climbs. This is the one that I missed the first lap. I made sure I hit it with Josh's help. And it was definitely easier to come up the first hill instead of the second. Usually the first hill is hard, and the go around is the easier way around, but not today. So we go up the hill, we go down the hill, and I had one location I thought I could use. We ran this track last year, but it was backwards, and there was a little hotline that we dropped down off of. I didn't use it on the first lap, but I thought I'm going to see if I can't find it and try to get around Josh, and right here it is. I'm glad they weren't a log laying down there, because I just kind of hit it blind and was hoping for the best. But it worked out, and now Josh has to eat my dust for a little bit. Now we're coming into the finish, and now I'll give you a full lap on the Mountain State Hare Scramble round 11, the RUGER''s Run. I'll get it out. Still first place. I think I was running around about 15th overall throughout the day. Coming back past the pits. Nope, didn't crash that time. But I will.
Hey!
This side of the track was kind of new for this year. It was a pretty fun add-on. Had some field pit side, track side pits. And we're working our way back over to where we started lap 1. Now we're coming into the area that we started. This is a little tricky coming in. You could come in too hot. There's a barbed wire fence there. You don't want to catch yourself on the wrong side of the fence. Now, as you can hear, I'm on my 300 beta. I do have the Race Tech Go Valve system put on this thing, and it definitely helped a lot. I set the bike up a little stiff for the first few laps, and I felt that, but I was able to overcome that, and now she's starting to come in and feel pretty good. But as the track gets choppy, I still have some room for improvement. Trying not to screw this turn up again. Can't let Josh get back in front of me because it took me a full lap to get around him once. I don't want to have to do it again. This is a pretty fun uphill. But as you can see, the main line was taken by other riders, so obviously I can't pass them if I follow them. So I'm over here, clear out on the left field, trying to get around them. Do what you gotta do to get to the front. Now here I take the inside. There's a grapevine like beat me right square in the face. Didn't see until the last minute, and I just closed my eyes and hope for the best. Track conditions couldn't have gotten much better. It was a little dusty in the field, but here in the woods, it had just about the perfect amount of moisture. There was a couple hill climbs got deep with dust, but nothing too bad. We're in the fall of the year. Temperature's a little cooler, perfect for a good day out on the track. Now this we ran last year, and I think the youth ran this as well. It's already starting to get a little rough. One good thing about the beta, there's a few little adjustments you can do on the fly with the Race Tech Go Valve on this 2020 Beta 300RR with the Sachs forks. Once you do that, the top adjustments is for your rebound. It was getting to where it's getting pretty bouncy, so I was able to reach up there and slow the rebound down a little bit, and that definitely helped on the braking bumps, but it really helped on the rocky sections. slowly getting this bike dialed in.
Go. Thank you.
That was one of the lines I learned on the first lap that was going to be a little faster than what I previously had taken. And that's some of the things you got to do. Sometimes you don't hit the fastest line on the track. There's a few things you got to learn as far as routes. If you hit a route, make sure you make a middle note. There's a route out here somewhere on this bottom section that I hit. About took my front end out, and the next lap I was looking for that route, but I knew generally where it was, so I stayed a little lower. That way it didn't try to put me on the ground.
Oh. Thank you.
I believe it was out through here somewhere in this area. Maybe that was it right there. But I hit a route, deflected me off a little bit, and like I say, even right through here is a tricky little off camber with some roots. But each lap you get around, you try to make a mental note of, okay, that line wasn't as fast as I think the other line is, so you try that. And then like right up here, there was a little hot line to the right. I got myself set up for it, and then cut in a little hot line there. Perfectly legal, I think. But each time you modify your route, if it's working for you, stick with it. If there's things that you need to adjust on it, that's like out here, there's a tree crossing, or the tree crossed the trail. Each time I was changing it up a little bit. I'm not sure if this time I went over the tree, but somehow I cut up tight here where it's not such a sharp turn, and then I come across the bottom and I jump over the tree, and that was about as smooth as it gets for me anyways. I think the next time I did it pretty much the same thing, but I didn't get over the second tree as cleanly. But like right there with some off camber, I learned to get a little higher on that. Just modify your lines on the track and try to make yourself faster on each lap. Now there was a line up here, the root or the rut in the middle got kind of deep, so I started going wide here and cutting to the inside. So much quicker. Just because there's a rut there doesn't mean you have to hit it. This is the section that I showed you on the first lap that the grass was covering over the rocks. Well, the rocks are still there. The grass has somewhat gotten beat in, but it was surprisingly how well that grass held on. It never did go completely away, but there was pretty much a main line. As long as you stayed in the main line, there really wasn't no surprises. I ran this race last year. It's my first race back after I broke my collarbone. I was scared to death on this track. We ran it the other way. I just wanted to get out here and make some laps and not fall back on my collarbone and do something else stupid to it. But in the middle of the race, and I got a video on it, and you can watch it from last year, but I realized that I didn't check the air in my front tire. I put a new tire on, pumped it up, got the bead set, and then I thought, well, I'll let the air out of it and I'll adjust it when I get to the track. Well, all excited, kind of nervous, forgot to put gas in my bike, and then had to come up from the start, put gas on my bike, and then obviously I forgot to check the air in my front tire. And at the end of the day, after I loaded it up in the box trailer, I went out and checked it, and I had 50 some pounds of air in my front tire. Needless to say, it felt better today. I think I had about 12 pounds of air in my tire. Got behind several people at the track, but everybody was awesome. The Mountain State Hare Scramble has some really good riders about knowing how to, let a faster rider by. I don't think I struggled behind anybody today. I realized that, the track's not that wide. You got to give, a rider in front of you some room and a little bit of time to adjust their line, but everybody did perfect. Now we're coming down into a rocky section of the course. It's a road with a lot of little hidden rocks. I'm sure it caught some of you off guard. Let me know if you raced this race, if these rocks ended up throwing you on the ground one place or another. I try to get as many riders as I can. I obviously haven't got you all that I was able to get on video, but I try to pick the lap that has the most riders. That way you can catch yourself on the video. And yes, even I've got to practice letting people around safely. And what I did, I heard somebody coming. Instead of trying to run them, because obviously they caught me rather quickly, I just get off to one side, slow down, and that way they can get across or get past safely. I thought he already passed me earlier, so I'm not sure if he pitted and just now coming back around me. But I honestly can't stand somebody to be behind me, especially those 125s. They are so noisy back here. So now we're getting ready to come down a downhill, and it got some pretty bad braking bumps, little kickers. And each lap I would look to try to find the better line down. Right down the middle, it was getting pretty rough, but I learned to the left, it was a lot smoother.
Up. Thank you.
As we come into the detour, if you look to the right, you can see several people's been up there face on with the tree before they realized there was a detour. No biggie. Just something for us racers to talk about. Gotta keep your eyes up and looking for all obstacles, even trees. Coming back down into a slower off-camber section where I was saying on the first lap there were several people struggling with one way or one reason or another. And here, this is the last time I took this rut. It got so rough. I learned to take the inside and avoid that rut altogether. We're coming back up to the hill climb with the go around that was harder than the main line. Richie did tell us that. I was about half listening, and when I passed it I realized it. I do want to say thanks to everybody rooting me on this day. I had a lot of people, young and old, rooting this old man on. I 100% appreciate that. Had an awesome day out here on the track. Laid it down twice, 2 little bonehead moves on my own. Somebody else having a bad day. Or at least a bad moment.
Thank you.
This was always a fast little fun section through the woods. Young man right here rooting me on every lap. Thank you. Coming down to my little hotline that of course I used every time after I figured it out. Fun little section right here. This is that hill climb that's right off the side of the main road coming into the property. And here's my little hotline. So as I'm coming out in the lap for my lap 4, I'm trying to get around this young man. Not the most safest place to do it, so I thought, well, I'll get it somewhere else. Not sure what class he's in. I know he's not in my class. But I come around, I thought I'm going to take the inside on this young man and try to get him in this next turn. Well, that was a bad idea. His front tire did not hook up. Slid out right in front of my own pits. Lost another position, and that's 2 guys I got to try to catch back up and make a pass on. Just one little bonehead move like that, trying to force something that wasn't ready. But eventually I catch back up with them, probably about 2 or 3 miles later, and get back around them. I'm just being patient, looking for the best opportunity to get around him. But one thing about the schoolboy class, they haven't learned patience yet, and they find a way to get around people. Usually, I mean, they're small, but they're noisy, and when a schoolboy comes up behind me, I just want him to get around me because I don't like listening to him. Anyways, I finished first in my class. I think I finished around 16th overall. Had an awesome day here at the the new East Coast. What the heck? I don't even know what race I'm running at. I had an awesome day here at the Mountain State Hare Scramble, round 11, the RUGER'S RUN. If this is your first video you watch, we are Trail Seeker Adventures, as I come out and try to get around this log on this rocky off-camber hill where several people was laying on the ground throughout the day. But that's what we're all about. We bring the video camera out, we put it on our bikes or our helmet or our chest protector, wherever we're allowed to do it. Depends on the race series that we run. We run GNCC, Mountain State Hare Scramble, SXCS, US Sprint Enduro, New East Coast, you name it. If it's in this area, we run it, and we bring the video camera to show you what it was all about. Maybe that way you can find a race series or a ride park that is suitable for you or your friends or family. Make sure you like, subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss our next event. You never know. We may just find and seek out a trail that's suitable for you. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure if you're on a mobile device, there's a subscribe button on your bottom right hand corner. Click on that, move up to the logo, push subscribe, or here at the end of the video, push the subscribe button, go up to our channel and push subscribe, or watch another video. Thank you so much for watching and rooting me on at the track. See you at the next one.